Mayor Mallory, congratulations, really nice. And it's great to see that the youth have really integrated the message and they're saving and budgeting. Good job, thank you. Before I go on with the report, I was just handed a note, and this is from President Mitchell of the NLC, and he wanted me to let you know that he lost or misplaced his mobile phone last night. And if you came across it, or could you please leave it at the registration desk, or President Mitchell, you know who he is, but he misplaced his mobile phone. So, and to continue with the report, just north, Columbus Mayor Michael Coleman launched his first annual SOAR Hire Job Fair, which brought in summer job employers like AT&T, Chase Bank, and Bright Star Healthcare. In addition to teaching financial education classes, the city will incentivize kids to open up bank accounts by making the first deposit into their savings account. And in Hartford, Mayor Segarra is preparing to launch a comprehensive pilot program in Burr Elementary Community School. In this program, students and families will receive social service like incentive financial education that will foster better environment for learning and for success. Thank you to our founding sponsor, Bank of America, and for making these opportunities possible. In addition, we are excited to announce DollarWise's continuing partnership with Jim Peniston from the Foundation for Financial Planning. Together, we are kicking off the second annual Financial Planning Day event this fall. The way it works is very, very simple. Cities provide the venue, pro bono financial planners organize the Financial Planning Day workshop, and both help to promote the event. Mayors, I hosted one last year, and I can tell you that it was of great value and benefit to my citizens. So please take advantage of it and consider holding a financial planning day in your city this fall. I opened this report by announcing DollarWise's goal to include financial education into every summer youth job in America. Well, this year, we want thousands of young adults to make the case for us. That is why DollarWise will host the 2011 Facebook Video Entry Contest, where 5 selected winners will win an iPad 2. We are inviting any young adult who has a summer job to post a testimonial video on the DollarWise Facebook page. In the video, we want our youth to talk about the importance of having a summer job, how it has changed them, and what they learned about managing money. Mayors, please pass this information along to the youth in your community and help them to participate in the Summer Youth Jobs Program. And for more information about the iPad contest, Financial Planning Day, or applying for a DollarWise grant, please visit the DollarWise booth. And thank you again for participating in the Mayor's DollarWise campaign. And now, the business session of our conference. I will now open that session. And I ask that mayors please keep your remarks concise. Our first order of business is to consider the resolutions before us, which when passed will become the official policy of the Conference of Mayors. The resolution have come from the standing committees. The full membership may also consider any new resolution proposed by a member mayor. Consideration of new resolutions require a 2/3 vote of members present and voting. We will consider any new resolution after voting on all resolutions approved in the standing committee. At this time, I preside as chair of our business and would like to know if any member mayor is offering a new resolution. I call, is there any interest in offering a new resolution on the floor this morning? Seeing none, the resolutions will be considered committee by committee in the order listed in the resolution book which you have before you. The procedure this morning is as follows. First, the chair of each committee or designee will make a brief presentation on that committee's resolutions and then move for their adoption. Next, I will call for a second. Then I will ask if any member mayor wants to have an individual resolution pulled for a special discussion and vote. Once the resolution is pulled and have been identified and set aside, we will vote on the remaining resolutions for that committee as a block. We will go through this procedure for all standing committees. Then we will have discussion on each of the resolutions that were pulled for a special consideration and vote, and we will vote on each of them individually. We will then take up any new resolutions, which there are none. If parliamentary issues should arise during our debate, we have a professional parliamentarian present who will be able to assist us in resolving them. Her name is Colette Trohan. And Ms. Trohan, if you could just wave so everybody knows who you are. She is our parliamentarian. And now we will begin with the order of business. Mayor James Schmidt of Green Bay, Chair of the Children, Health, and Human Service Committee. Mayor Schmidt, your report, please, to the body.
Good morning, Madam President, fellow mayors. My name is Jim Schmidt. I'm the mayor of Green Bay, Wisconsin, and I chair the Children, Health, and Human Service Committee. Before I move for adoption, I want to thank you for being an awesome president. This has been a great year for the U.S. Conference of Mayors.
Thank you.
And Crystal. Our committee met on Saturday, June 18th, and we adopted 9 resolutions. And now I move for the adoption of resolutions 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 28, and 78. Thank you.
Is there a second? A second is Mayor Jim Gray. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Oops. Opposed, say nay. Did you have just a comment? Friendly comment? I'm sorry, I did not see your hand. Okay. Yes, you do. And just a comment, it's coming.
Madam Chair, thank you very much. Frank Hibbard, Mayor of Clearwater. I'm supporting the resolutions, but I would like to make a recommendation and encourage the conference to work harder towards getting cost estimates on all of the resolutions. We only have 5 of 84 resolutions with any cost estimates. I think 6%. In these times, it behooves all of us as elected officials to know exactly what price tags are. I understand that many of these resolutions are aspirational and we cannot have price tags on them, but I think we need to make a greater effort in all of our committees to move towards having some estimate on what these resolutions will cost.
Good point, Mayor. Thank you. Valuable point. Okay, the yeas have it, and the resolutions are passed. Thank you, Mayor Schmidt. Next is Newton Mayor Seti Warren, Chair of the Community Development and Housing Committee. Mr. Mayor.
Good morning, Madam President. I want to echo the comments of the mayor. Thank you for your leadership, your outstanding leadership this year. It's been great working with you. I'd like to, from the Community Development and Housing Committee, offer some resolutions. We met on June 17th to consider 14 resolutions submitted before or by May 18th. 2 resolutions were combined, and the committee approved 12 remaining resolutions. I move the adoption of resolutions 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 5, 22, and 23.
Is there a second? The second is from Pembroke Pines, the great mayor of Pembroke Pines, Frank Ortis. And discussion. Any comments, remarks? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. And the motion passes. Thank you, Mayor Warren, and thank you for the kind remarks. I now call on Des Moines Mayor Frank Cownie, Vice Chair of the Criminal and Social Justice Committee. Mayor Cownie, your report, please, sir.
Madam President, again, to echo what everybody else has said, thank you so much for your leadership and your support in my number of years as mayor. And I promise to everyone here and to you that next time I'm through Burnsville, I will give you 24 hours notice.
That would be good.
You bet. So, Madam President, I have, and to the rest of the mayors, the report for the Criminal and Social Justice Committee. And as you said, I am acting chair, so thank you. The Criminal and Social Justice Committee reported out 15 resolutions. I now move the passage of the resolutions numbered 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 1, 3, 31, 32, 33, 34, 80, and 81. Thank you.
Is there a second? And we have a second from, if you could give your name, it's Vassilinas. Yes. Discussion. Yes, Mayor Jin.
Mike Jin, Redondo Beach, California. Thank you, Madam President. Just a quick comment, I think, on number 33 and 34. I think 34 is great because the Haitian people have certainly endured a tremendous tragedy out there, and I think we should continue to grant temporary status for them. 33, though, seems to imply a desire to grant green card status, I guess. And there is a little bit of a difference with that, if I'm reading it correctly. So that was my only comment and concern was on 33, but I think 34 is something I'm very, very supportive of. So thank you.
Mayor Cownie, did you want to respond to 33? Mayor Jin, did you want 33 pulled? No? Okay. Mayor.
I'd like to address item Resolution 81, the COPS program, and just relate to you an experience, the problem that we had with it. The way it was written, once you take the program, you are locked into maintaining the number of officers that you have at that time, and you're not allowed to, if you have more financial difficulties, lay off anybody down the line during the term of the grant, or you have to pay it back. And I think that that caused us a great deal of difficulty. And I would like to see some language in there addressing that ability to understand it's more forward-looking relative to declining budgets, which are going to continue probably for a couple more years in my area, where language would be incorporated that says that if we prove financial difficulty or hardship, that we would be able to go back and possibly lay off officers, down the line.
Mayor, did you want this resolution to be pulled from the package that has already been seconded? Because then I need to go back to the floor
Yeah, I
to
think that-
approve the removal of that resolution.
Right, and I would hate to lose the resolution because I think it's important to all of us here, but it's something that we're going to have to consider possibly through our lobbying efforts with the federal government, possibly changes in that language to allow us more flexibility and recognizing that financial trouble is still going to continue to dog a lot of us.
Okay, this resolution, the number again, sir? 81 is pulled from the package and set aside.
Madam President, I think that we could get clarification from the COPS people on that particular resolution. I would also like to quickly address the comments of Mayor Ginn. I believe that he is correct in what he has said, but I think if Mayor Pierre is in the room, I would like to have him comment quickly for clarification on Resolution 33.
Mayor, the microphone to Mayor Pierre, please.
Good morning. Good morning, Madam Chair. My name is Andre Pierre, the mayor for the great city of North Miami. Resolution 33 deals with allowing the Haitian folks that were eligible for TPS, which is temporary protected status, to receive residency from Department of Homeland Security. Resolution 34, it's a separate request for TPS, which asks the President of the United States grant TPS to Haitians that enter the United States after January 13th, 2010, until December 13th, 2010. And basically, after the earthquake of January 12, 2010 in Haiti, several Haitians were displaced. They were migrated to the United States, and at this moment, they are all roughly about 50,000 Haitians without status in the United States. So Resolution 33 is different, deals with the granting of temporary, after the granting of temporary residency status to permanent resident status, and 34 deals the granting of TPS to Haitian Americans that migrated to the United States after the earthquake. As most of you know, that Haiti is still dealing with the aftermath of the earthquake.
Okay. Mayor Ginn, do you still want it in the package? Do you want 33 pulled? 33 is pulled. Anyone else?
Any others to pull? Any one member? If there's no more to pull, go ahead and take the vote on the
Yeah.
rest.
Members, if you don't want any other resolution to be pulled from the package, I will call for the vote on the remaining resolutions. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. And the motion passes. Thank you, Mayor County. I now call on Clarksville Mayor Kim McMillan for the Energy Committee report. Mayor McMillan.
Madam President, I'm Kim McMillan, the mayor of Clarksville, Tennessee, and a member of the Energy Policy Committee. The committee met on Friday, June 17th, and adopted 7 resolutions, and I would say they were adopted unanimously. And so I move for adoption of resolutions 23, 35, 36, 37, 20, 38, and 39.
Thank you. May I have a second? There's a second. Discussion, comments, remarks. Yeah. Any who wish any resolution that has been presented and seconded to be removed? Seeing now, I call the vote. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, say nay. And the motion carries. Thank you, Mayor McMillan. Nice work. I now call on Mayor Ashley Swearingen, Chair of the Environment Committee, for her report. Mayor Swearingen.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Thank you also for your leadership. And although the circumstances that created your 18-month tenure were unfortunate, I just want to say the silver lining was we got to have you for 18 months. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like the other committees, the Environment Committee met on Saturday afternoon. We had 11 resolutions that were submitted in a timely manner, 4 of which were shared with the Energy Committee. We also considered and adopted a new resolution, which was passed. So I make a motion that the following resolutions be adopted by the conference. They are numbers 35, 36, 37, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, and 82.
Is there a second? Second from Mayor Dickert. And comments, remarks, removals? Comments, remarks, removals? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. And the motion carries. Thank you, Mayor Swearingen. I now call on Mayor Jean Quan of Oakland, Chair of the International Affairs Committee. Mayor Quan.
President Counts, I also want to thank you for your warmth and your energy. Even though I'm a newbie mayor, it's clear that you've been running this on a lot of energy and hope. So even coming, from bad financial times in California, it's always a pleasure to be here. Colleagues, we passed 6 resolutions that were submitted by the Anointed Time and 3 additional ones. We did ones that supported our Mayors for Peace and our United Nations programs. And we were very lucky to have Rita Jo Lewis, who's the special envoy from Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, for working with intergovernmental and particularly municipal leaders. And based on that, we also did a resolution encouraging us to work more closely with the State Department's new programs to encourage mayor to mayor, city to city economic development, tourism, and to meet President Obama's goal of doubling exports. So we passed resolutions 47 and also 33 that's been pulled, 34, 44, 64, 70, 83, 84, and 85. I request that we adopt these resolutions.
The motion is to adopt. May I see a second? Second will be on this side.
33 is already pulled.
And 33 is already pulled. Comments, remarks, resolutions to be pulled other than 33? Comments, remarks, resolutions to be pulled? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. And the motion carries. Thank you, Mayor Kwan. Next is Pembroke Pines Mayor Frank Ortis, Vice Chair of the Jobs, Education, and Workforce Committee.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Mayor.
Frank Ortis, Mayor of the great city of Pembroke Pines, and Vice Chair of Jobs, Education, and Workforce Standing Committee. Just a comment first, Madam Chair. I'm blinded by that exquisite jewelry that you have on your neck this morning. It is absolutely exquisite, and I'm awed. Thank you for your great service.
Thank you, and thank you to all of you.
The committee met on Friday, June 17th, and adopted 12 resolutions, none of any cost. Mayor Hibbard. I move for adoption of resolutions number 21, 5, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 31, 54, 55, and 60.
Is there a second? There's a second. Comments, remarks, resolutions to be pulled. Comments, remarks, resolutions to be pulled. Seeing no one, I will call for the vote. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, say nay. And the motion passes. Thank you, Mayor Ortis. I now call on Racine Mayor John Dickert, Vice Chair of the Metro Economies Committee, Mayor Dickert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to remind you of what you told me 2 years ago as I got here as a small-town mayor, that it wasn't the size of the city that mattered, but the size of our heart. So I want to thank you for all of your efforts in pushing us small-town mayors to do good things. Madam President, John Dickert of Racine, Wisconsin, Vice Chair of Metro Economies Committee, and I'm substituting for Mayor Sam Adams of Portland, Oregon, who had to return home for a commitment he made. Our committee met last Friday and adopted 13 resolutions. Resolutions 8, 19, 21, 38, 47, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, and 63. I move the adoption of these resolutions.
The mayor moves for adoption. Second. Second. Mayor, comment? Or would you like a resolution pulled? Microphone, please, to the mayor. Do we have a microphone? Mr. Mayor.
Pete Lewis from Auburn, Washington. Move to pull resolution number 59, please.
Could you speak to Resolution 39, Mayor?
That's
59.
resolution
59.
59. That calls for this conference asking for the end of the war. We had a rather heated vote several years ago that split our membership. Now, I have a nephew serving in Iraq. I served in Vietnam. My father served in Vietnam, Korea, and World War II. My uncle in World War I, all the way back to the earliest days. As a veteran, I always yearned for peace. But I keep thinking of what would have happened if this type of resolution had taken place during the time of President John F. Kennedy, or President Ronald Reagan. We need to ensure that we work on these measures that are good for our cities, but not to marginalize or fractionalize this organization. Therefore, I ask that 59 be pulled.
The resolution is pulled. Comments? Remarks? I'll call for the vote on the remainder. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. And the motion carries. Thank you, Mayor. Next, we will hear from Mayor Mark Mallory of Cincinnati on the Tourism, Arts, Parks, Entertainment, and Sports Committee. Mr. Mallory.
Thank you, President Couts. First of all, let me add to the chorus of those giving good comments and making remarks about your wonderful leadership. I've been in this organization for a number of years, and you have been a fantastic president, and thank you for your dynamic leadership.
Thank you.
Madam President, the Tourism, Arts, Parks, Entertainment, and Sports Committee met and reported out the following resolutions. They were 64, 55, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 79, 86, and 87. I move for their adoption.
There's a second. Mayor Brady from Rochester. Any comments, remarks, resolutions to be pulled? Comments, remarks, resolutions to be pulled? Seeing now, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. And the motion carries. Thank you, Mayor Mallory. Thank you so much. The final report will be given by Tallahassee Mayor John Marks, Vice Chair of the Transportation and Communications Committee. Mayor Marks.
Thank you, Madam President. Here I am over here.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I want to add also to to commend you on your leadership. And I had an opportunity to see that when we both were in Stockholm, Sweden, and how you represented this organization in Stockholm. And it was just really wonderful. You've done a wonderful job for the U.S. Conference of Mayors. Thank you very much for your leadership.
Thank you.
I am Vice Chair for Communications Policy of the Transportation and Communications Committee. Our chair, Kasim Reed, could not be here, So we met on Saturday afternoon rather, June 18th, and adopted 10 resolutions. And they are as follows. I move for adoption of resolutions number 63, 62, 61, 24, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, and 77.
Is there a second? There's a second. Comments, remarks? Resolutions to be pulled? Comments, remarks? Yes, Mayor Patrick Henry Hayes.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and again, in echoing comments that have been made many times before, I know that look at Brian Waller back there, the chairman of the membership committee, and you certainly had chairmanship of that illustrious committee, and so I would commend that to anyone who wants to move forward in this conference. That membership is indeed a key, and congratulations for your service there. But again, as the leadership you've given us. Just a quick comment, and I know it's Villagrosa is going to be in the position, but nothing against any resolution. In fact, we support all of them. But there was a bit of a visit recognizing that at this point, bicycles may not have a home in the conference. At one time, and I say that with some levity, obviously, there was a task force under Mayor Menino that specifically dealt with that. I know, having a chance to talk to staff, and how interested that we are in terms of moving forward all forms of transportation, whether it be walking or bicycling or public transit, that there might be an opportunity, and I would certainly encourage, because I know I made this comment and several others came up and added to that there may be a home under transportation for city livability that would include all these others. I know we did at one time have a task force on that, and that's blended into some of the standing committees. So I just say that discussion, and would look forward to working with the new president and potentially creating a subcommittee under transportation that would deal with not only bicycles but other forms of city livability. So with that comment, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other remarks? Any resolutions to be pulled? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. And the motion carries. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mayor Marks. And now we will address the resolutions that were pulled. And we will take them in the order that they were pulled. Resolution 81, and that came out of 81 came out of COPS, is a COPS resolution.
It's actually 81, 33, 59.
Madam Chairman, if I could comment on that. 81 was pulled. Jim Schmidt, the mayor
Yes.
of Green Bay. He's right. We need more flexibility as mayors when it comes to receiving these grants. So I would offer an amendment, and I would make the amendment, and we can sure discuss it and then vote on it. But we receive this funding from COPS and the SAFER grant too, quite honestly, and then budgets are tight and we can't make adjustments in the personnel. And as leaders, that's our biggest job, is to put together a budget, and personnel is the largest cost. So item number 7, be it further resolved, it ends with, in the public safety needs of America's cities. I think we should add to the amendment I offer as well, allowing municipalities to adjust personnel independent of grant requirements. This is going to give us some flexibility when we receive a COPS grant that, hey, look, thanks for the grant, but 2 years later, we got to make some personnel adjustments. So I would offer that amendment and hope for a second on that.
There's and second, discussion. Mayor Swearingen.
Thank you, Mayor Schmidt. I certainly support the amendment, but just want to let you all know from a practical standpoint, we have found the COPS office to be very flexible when a city is going through economic distress, which we all are. They actually have been willing to make exceptions to some of their policies, and we actually have been able to renegotiate our contract and reduce our sworn force. and still maintain funding. So I just would encourage you to talk with the COPS office. I believe they do make that provision available.
Mayor Swearingen, is there any reason to not have this amendment?
No, this amendment sounds great.
Okay. Mayor.
Madam President, since making the request to pull, I did speak with two of the representatives of the Department of Justice, and they have assured me that they are flexible. We are going to be setting up a phone call with them when I return back into the office and have my staff there to go over just exactly how we could structure this flexibility for the city of Waukegan. But I would like to see the amendment stand as well.
Thank you.
Frank
Mayor Ortiz.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to support the amendment as well. But Pembroke Pines was one of the cities that received the COPS grant, and we looked at it and we knew the ramifications of the COPS grant as well. 100,000 COPS in a great period of time when we needed it. But I would support this resolution. And I agree with Mayor Swearingen that it is flexible at some degree, and we need to talk to those people. But again, thank you.
Okay, any other comments on the amendment? Any other comments on the amendment? Yes, please, Mayor Bowash.
Thank you, Madam President. I also received grants for the COPS program. I have not found a more cooperative organization in Washington than the COPS program.
That's right.
I'm not so sure the amendment's needed. Obviously, I think it's going to pass, but as an author of this resolution, the COPS program and the folks we speak with, we have the same issue. We're not allowed to hire extra money, budgets. I'm preaching to the converted. The COPS program worked out amendments. They spoke with our staff, and it got done. We had 2 people leave in the original hiring class. They allowed us to hire 3 laid-off police officers from other jurisdictions to fulfill the grant a year and a half after it was awarded. So I don't see the need for the amendment, but if it's the will of the body, fine.
Okay. It seems that we all know that the COPS office will work with us, but the amendment that is being proposed helps to define that mayors are looking that there is flexibility, and this amendment tells everyone that that's what we're looking for, even though that we know that the COPS office do work with us. Any other comments on the amendment? Any other comments on the amendment? Seeing no other comments, I'll call the vote on the amendment. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. 1 nay. And the amendment passes, the resolution passes. Thank you very much. The next one is resolution number 13. Oh, that was the amendment. Now we will vote on the complete resolution with the amendment. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. And the motion carries. And now, resolution number 33 is on the floor for discussion. Mayor Jin.
Thank you very much.
You offering an amendment, Mayor Jin?
Yes, I am. I had a good conversation with Mayor County and also Mayor Pierre. And the purpose of Mayor Pierre's resolution here is to really, it's a broader issue that addresses the temporary protected status not only of Haitians that are in this country as a result of the tragedy that occurred in Haiti, but also many other foreign nationals that are in this country that were given TNP status because of tragedies that happened in their countries, such as in Africa and other places. Rather than simply confining it just to Haiti and also addressing my concern about automatically just simply granting green card status to folks, the language that I would propose in item 10 is whereas the U.S. Conference of Mayors supports immigration reform that addresses the plight of the people of Haiti and others in our country who have been given temporary status protection. Let's see. And
Mayor Jin, can you get that to us in writing if you're going to?
Oh, sure. Okay.
Okay.
Should I just bring it up there?
Yes, please. Okay. And the parliamentarian is going to.
I just realized it's not a complete sentence right now.
Yeah. And that's the reason why she right away said we need that in writing because, okay. Can you please read the amendment?
Yeah, so. So why don't we bring this back? And then, is there any others that have been pulled? Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay. We will wait. Mayor Marks?
Thank you, Madam President. I support the resolution, but the amendment refers to everybody. The whereas clauses are specific to Haiti. If we're going to do what Mayor Jin suggests, then the whereas clauses may have to be
Reviewed also?
reviewed also, because the whereas clauses only refer to Haiti. And I don't know how we're going to do that at this point in time. We got to make this a general amendment to all those who may be in an illegal status or a status such as the Haitians. So I'm not sure how we're going to just change one whereas clause to make this, to clarify this.
Okay.
I'm in favor of this is not in opposition to this resolution. In fact, I like what Mayor Jin is saying, but it doesn't conform to the whereas clauses if you look at them.
Okay, this is specific to Haiti. And are you trying to broaden this now?
I think, I suggest that's what Mayor Jin is attempting to do, which I think is great. I think it's a good idea. But the whereas clauses don't conform to what he is resolving. Well, the title, if you look at the title.
Here's what we need to
I
do.
agree with that, actually.
We will vote on the amendment, and then we'll have to go back to the complete resolution and deal with each of those
Whereas clause.
issues. Okay, and we've got Mayor Jin and Mayor County working with the parliamentarian on the words.
After status, then what was the suspension of the removal?
Yeah, and suspends the removal of
And suspense, okay.
documents, Haitian nationals, I guess.
Removal of
And Mayor Pierce is now here. We are just going to stand down just for a minute unless someone has another comment. We have everyone working on this particular resolution right now.
Okay, so you want this out as well?
Yeah, so we should
Mayor Marks, do you want to add your voice to this conversation?
change the reference to.
No, come up here.
See what you have right there.
I have. To strike all of this, because you put this back in down here, right? So we, just don't worry about it. We strike the whole.
Let's do yours.
Put in.
Let's do this one.
Conference of Mayors.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mayor.
may I suggest that we pass this resolution, and maybe at some point, if we possibly can today, draft another resolution that from the
Then
floor.
we'll bring it back at the next business
Yeah,
meeting.
I don't see how we can do it.
Well,
I'll
we're,
ask the parliamentarian, but
First, we need to,
I'm going to have the parliamentarian give us, the parliamentarian will give us some direction here so that we stay in compliance with Robert's rules.
thank you. First, we just need to get the language that is being proposed to be changed, and because it wasn't prepared in writing, it took a few moments to do that. You then will have, because that amendment is on the floor and has been seconded, you will then have the opportunity to debate and vote on the amendment. Should it be adopted, we have not yet adopted the resolution, you will probably then have to go back and look at the whereas clauses. If the amendment fails, then the resolution as it was originally proposed is before you. So it's one step at a time.
That's right. And then mayors, if you're uncomfortable with all of this, you can vote on the negative.
That's right.
Yes, Mayor.
Mayor Arlene Mulder from Arlington Heights, Illinois. I think this is a real thoughtful, generous, we're always trying to help everyone, but there was a catastrophe in Haiti. To broaden it to all groups is, we have other issues that we're talking about, our economic stress and challenges. I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done on this discussion. This American economy is not a bank for the world because it's our taxpayers that have to pay the bills in each of our communities. So I have great concern, and I would have to oppose this motion or this resolution if it is presented today. It needs a lot of work.
Thank you, Mayor. I am going to have the parliamentarian now read the amendment, and then remember, I will take a vote on the amendment before I come back and call the vote on the resolution. So the parliamentarian is going to read the amendment, and then I will call for the vote on the amendment if there are no other comments or remarks on the amendment.
The amendment is to number 10 on page 77, to strike everything after the word reform in the first sentence, and to insert so that if adopted, this is the way the whereas clause would be written. Whereas the U.S. Conference of Mayors supports immigration reform that addresses the plight of the people of Haiti and others in our country that have been granted temporary protection status, and suspends the removal of undocumented Haitian nationals.
Mayors will have the parliamentarian read the amendment one more time.
Okay. The amendment is to strike the words after reform so that if adopted, the language would read in full. Whereas the U.S. Conference of Mayors supports immigration reform that addresses the plight of the people of Haiti and others in our country that have been granted temporary protection status, and suspends the removal of undocumented Haitian nationals, comma.
Okay. Is the amendment understood by the body?
Point of information.
Yes. Mayor Nutter.
Madam Chair, from 2 readings now, it appears that what has really changed is "and others in our country."
And others in our country.
Right.
Now
And
we
who-
have broadened it from
Right. Who are we talking about, and under what circumstances?
Mayor Jin.
Okay. My apologies for the clarification issues here. The main difference is that the phrase resident status has been taken out of the whereas clause. And the issue is broadened to talk about addressing comprehensive immigration reform for not only those that have been granted temporary permanent national status to those that were affected in Haiti, but also those that are in our country because of other tragedies that have occurred around the world. So we take out the green card issue completely. We take out the green card issue completely because what Mayor Pierre was concerned about, and I agree with him on that point, is that there are others in this country that have been given TPS status. Okay, and the debate that we have in the future about immigration reform should also include these individuals that are in this state. It shouldn't just only be just for the Haitian people. It should be for all that are affected by TPS status and other tragedies that have occurred. We're not saying that we should give these folks green card status, which is why I wanted the phrase resident status to be taken out. So that's the intent of this, and maybe the language should end with other foreign nationals that are affected with TPS status, basically. Only those undocumented foreign nationals that are affected that are part of TPS status, if you will. Not all undocumented foreign nationals.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Mayor Nutter, please.
Madam Chair, let me just suggest that given the complexity of the subject matter,
It's now broadened and it's
and now a significant broadening, that this is the perfect example of what good committee work is about.
That's right.
And I'd really like to suggest that unless we're going to leave it the way it is, and I'm assuming members would be prepared to vote, that the amendment is so broadened, the nature of this, that it really would be better settled in committee, where those issues and the language could be debated, but not necessarily before the entire membership. I mean, this is like a committee of the whole here.
Yeah, and it becomes very messy when you look at the heading of the
You've got a
of
title
the resolution.
that says exactly what it's about. And when you start talking about and other individuals, you've broadened it to include infinity.
Mayor Nutter, you can make a motion to refer this resolution back to committee.
Well, I think that
Because
yeah.
the amendment has,
Well, I think under the circumstance, what may best serve us, if the amendment is withdrawn, we could then just vote the resolution as presented and as approved by the committee that took up this matter.
the maker of the amendment, your choice.
No, it has to have permission from them. He has to have permission to withdraw
Okay.
the motion.
My preference would actually be to just refer it to the committee. If it'll save time, I can withdraw it, but my preference would be to have it referred back to just address the broader things that Mayor Pierre is concerned about, I think, on this, which personally I agree with. I have an issue with the resident status language. That's it.
I understand.
Yeah.
I'm, Mayor Marks.
Let me make sure we're referring the amendment.
The amendment back to committee, yes.
Okay.
The whole thing, the whole.
Madam Chair.
Just the amendment.
Yeah, I got
Wait,
it.
the
Madam Chair.
parliamentarian is going to give us direction, so we are complying with Robert's rules. She tells me something different from what everybody is saying.
The amendment is part of the resolution. It is attached to the resolution. If you want to put the entire resolution back to committee, the motion to refer is in order at this time. If you want to just adopt the resolution as it was presented, you can vote no on the amendment and then vote yes on the resolution.
Right.
There is a member who has made a motion to refer to committee. So far, we have not heard a second.
Yet.
Hold
Okay,
on.
then.
Wait a minute. Wait. I'm going to go.
Point of clarification.
Mayor Nutter, who,
Just either a point of clarification to the parliamentarian. The motion to refer back to committee, was that a motion made with regard to the amendment or the entire resolution?
It can only be to both at the same time. It cannot just be to the amendment because you can't take independent action on the amendment and the
Got it.
resolution. They're joined at the hip.
So there's a motion made to refer the entire matter back to committee, but has not received a second. Is that correct?
you were the maker of the motion, sir.
Madam Chair, my motion was specifically with regard to, I thought we could refer just the amendment back. If it's the entire resolution, I'd withdraw
Your motion.
that motion.
And there was not a second, so.
Madam
okay.
Chair?
Madam Chair?
Madam Chair?
Yes, I'm going to go to Mayor Pierce. I see if somebody could help me here. Mayor Pierce, Mayor from Waukegan,
Well,
and Mayor
just
Dickert.
a point of order for the parliamentarian. If the amendment hasn't been passed, is it really
Yeah.
part of the resolution?
Yeah, I didn't.
Amendment isn't
Well,
part of a
I'm going to
resolution
go-
unless it's been passed.
Mayor Dickert, I'm going to have.
Okay, just a point of order.
Yeah, yes, I understand, but I'm going to have, I have recognized Mayor Pierce.
They were still in language.
Good morning again, Madam Chair. I do recognize the body's concern regarding other countries that have been granted TPS. For example, you have countries in Africa, Central and South American countries that have been granted TPS, and they are still in TPS status, and some have been in TPS status for over 15 years. And I think I was a little selfish by presenting this resolution relating to Haiti, which was granted temporary protected status about a year and a half ago. But the body has to understand that on January 10th, 2010, one of the worst natural disasters in recent history. 250,000 Haitians lost their lives. More than 1 million people were left homeless, and many of them migrated to the United States. And I think, this issue in terms of addressing a country that is, roughly a little bit over 500 miles away from the shores of the United States, clearly needs to be addressed. But in regard to the issues of addressing some of the other countries like Sudan, Burundi, El Salvador, Nicaragua, and some of the other countries that have been granted TPS in the past, I think there may be a separate resolution that this body could take on at a later time to address the other countries, which is the same resolution that I just proposed for the Haitian nationals that are currently here in the United States. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor.
Madam Chair, I would move that this item be returned back to committee.
Is there a
This
second?
resolution is, there's a motion, and did I hear a second? Mayor Lawrence seconds the motion. Wait a minute, I'm going to go in order of the hands that I've seen. Mayor Dickert, I saw your hand up. Did you have a question or a point of order?
There was never a motion made on that amendment.
On the floor and it's
Mine was just a point of order or a point of clarification to the parliamentarian. which is if an amendment has not been passed, that it is not part of a resolution, then they are not one. You can have 1 million amendments to a resolution. So I just wanted to make sure that we
No,
had a
we
point of
understand that.
clarification.
We're just still debating the amendment because the parliamentarian will explain,
Okay, thank you.
because you're
While-
challenging her.
While the main motion is on the floor, an amendment is in order. It outranks the main motion and is taken up first. The motion to refer outranks the amendment, and therefore, if the motion to refer is adopted, both the main motion and amendment are referred. If the motion to refer fails, the amendment comes back before you. Whatever happens to that, then you're back to the main motion. So everything at this point is in order. The first motion to refer was withdrawn. It was made by another member. It was seconded, and that's what's on the floor.
Okay. Mayor Patrick Henry Hayes, and then the good mayor. Yes, Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My concern, I support the main, I support the resolution as it was originally proposed. I'm concerned about supporting the motion to refer, because if that's the case, then this will not be before, that we will, essentially it'll die, at least as far as this meeting goes.
Yeah.
So what I am speaking for is against the motion to refer and also opposed to the amendment, so that we can get back to the original resolution, and then it would be my intent to vote for it. So as I understand the parliamentary procedure, you know, if you're not supporting the resolution as such, then you will be voting for the motion to refer, because it'll essentially put it on the table without us being able to deal with the principal intent of the resolution. So I would encourage those, if I understand the parliamentarian correct, for us to vote against the motion to refer and then against the amendment, and then we'll be able to vote for the resolution as it was originally proposed, because if not, then we're likely not to have anything coming out of this annual meeting. And so that would be the approach, as I understand the parliamentarian, that I would
Because
support.
what we're doing here is there's, as she said, the motion that we're not, if we vote on the motion that was made to refer, because there were several seconds, then it will go forward, and then it'll be referred.
Call the question.
Yeah, question.
I can't because I've already recognized speakers on the floor. Yes, and it takes 2/3 to call the question. Mayor.
Madam President, thank you very much. Mike Bissonette from the city of Chicopee, Massachusetts. I concur with my brother Hayes from North Little Rock, and I appreciate the gentleman's intent. But I'm going to call the question because I agree that we need to move
We have a vote
this
on the
question.
to call the question.
I need 2/3 vote, and now
You need a second as well.
and I need a second for the
Second.
calling, and there's second. And now, staff, if you can all go, because we need a 2/3 to call the question. All in favor of calling the question?
I think we won that.
I think we have 2/3.
All right. All right.
It's
Right.
Gotta be two-thirds.
Yeah.
You gotta
So you
know.
got that
I
right.
think it is unanimous.
All right.
Okay. Now, the motion that we're,
Certainly two-thirds.
Is it two?
Right.
I don't know that it's two-thirds. It's gonna be twice as many.
okay, the parliamentarian wants an actual count. So everybody, please hold up your,
This is where you could do a serpentine, but
and it's 2/3 of the mayors present
and voting.
and voting. 2/3 of the mayors present and voting. So if a staff member, JD, can you count the members voting and present, and then somebody vote?
We don't need present. It's present and voting. So it's the yeses compared to the noes. Okay. What's the
You
first
got the
number?
numbers?
31, 35, 45, 40, 65. Okay. Yep.
What do we?
If you have 33 against, it fails.
We're going to have to come up with.
Those opposed to calling the question.
Okay. Pardon me?
Those opposed to calling the question.
And now opposed. Those opposed to calling the question.
Take the vote on committee.
Pardon me?
Take the vote on referral.
Yeah.
Okay, I now take the vote to refer to committee. All in favor to return the motion to committee?
Make sure folks understand.
There was a motion. She says there was a motion on the floor, but we had to go in the order of, there was a motion on, excuse me. We're taking the vote on refer because there was a motion on the floor. Remember, we had to take the motion.
It's a majority vote.
Yeah, and now the motion to refer is a majority vote.
Just make sure that
The whole thing. We're
everyone
referring the
knows.
whole thing back to committee.
Ma-
Yes,
Madam Chair, is it?
Mayor Nutter.
Could the chair just provide clarity to the members as to what a yes vote means versus what a no vote means in this particular unique situation?
Yes, I am going to go to the parliamentarians so that we are in compliance.
If you vote yes on the motion to refer, it will then be reassigned to a committee for next year. If you vote no on the motion to refer, the next motion to come up in order will be the amendment.
Yeah. Okay, is it understood? We're voting on the motion to refer the resolution back to committee. Okay? All in favor? Please say aye. Please raise your cards. Yeah, there's a comment. Mayor Lawrence.
I'm not debating. I just wanted to state my. I just wanted to say to those who support the amendment, to me, this is a very critical subject, and it needs more debate. This is not the forum to do it. I think I support what I'm hearing, but there is too many other issues on the table, and this is not the forum to work that out. So it's not that I want to kill the amendment. I want it to be one that is clear, one that is thorough, and one that we can adopt. And I truly feel we need more discussion. And that's why I have supported the amendment to refer it back to committee.
Okay. Mayor Villaraigosa.
Yes, but you have to understand, the parliamentarian is saying if you support the amendment and you refer it back to committee, you're also referring the main resolution. So I think the vice president said it very clearly. There was debate and discussion in that committee. They worked on this issue. They passed it, I believe, unanimously. And now an amendment has been brought up on the floor that wasn't even written out. So what should be referred is the amendment, but the parliamentarian says that you can't do that. You have to refer them both. So I would urge that we vote down the amendment and vote for the resolution.
Okay. Mayor Hayes.
And what's before us now is the motion to refer. And
That's
so,
correct.
You know, so we need to vote down
We need,
the motion
yes,
to
and it's
refer.
only a simple majority.
And as we try to deal with the broader issue, that could be brought up in committee for next year.
Next year, that's right. Yes.
So what I
Yes.
would hope is that we do not, by parliamentary confusion, which is not coming out of our parliamentarian, vote against a resolution that I think all of us feel like we want to see on our books coming out of this meeting. So that pathway
Correct.
would be to vote against the motion to refer and vote against the amendment and then for the resolution.
Yes.
That's correct.
Yes.
Okay, Mayor.
Madam President, as I think we all know, we've proven once again why we're executives and not legislators.
There you go.
But I believe that if we vote no, that kills sending it back to committee.
That's correct.
Then we will vote on the actual amendment.
That's correct.
And if we defeat that amendment, we will then vote
On
on
the
the main
resolution.
resolution as recommended by the committee.
That's correct.
So vote no if you want to
got
stop
that.
this and move to the next
That's
phase
correct.
of this. Okay, thank you,
Okay.
All
Madam
right,
President.
call a question.
All right. There's no more comments and discussion, right? Because we already have a motion and a second, and no more, and you all know what we're voting. This is the resolution to refer back to committee. All in favor in referring the resolution back to committee? If you
Raise their cards
raise your cards,
and just look at it.
raise your cards. If you want to refer it back to committee, raise your cards.
Those opposed.
Okay.
Go ahead, take it. Those opposed.
Those oppose. Let's see the cards. Those oppose.
Okay, the motion fails. We're back to the amendment.
The motion fails. We're back to the amendment. Okay, we're working our way.
to the resolution.
No,
Right.
because we didn't get to the amendment. Remember, we had to do the other
Back to the
stuff
Right.
amendment.
first. We're back to the amendment. Okay, no, we are back to the amendment. Remember, we have been working our way back,
All right,
okay? And
Call
the
the que-
last one is the resolution. We're working our way back.
yes.
All
Call-
right.
Call a question on the amendment,
And
please.
mayors, I'm calling us back to order so that I can take the comments on the floor. Yes.
Madam President, this is a great issue. I encourage the gentleman to bring it up at our next annual meeting, well written out and well thought out, but we need to move on, and I move this question.
Yes.
Is
The
there
question
anybody
is
else who
moved.
wishes to debate?
Pardon me?
Is there anybody else who wishes to debate?
I now will ask if there's anyone who wishes to debate this.
Go.
Question's
Take
been
If not, call the question. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
Nay.
That's the amendment. That was the vote on the amendment.
That was the vote. Remember, that was the vote on the amendment?
Right.
Do that again.
Oh, you want to do it again?
Take your time. Make sure that
Okay. This is the amendment. Okay, and I am going to have the parliamentarian read the amendment. Remember, we have to vote on the amendment. Okay.
I don't think that,
Because when you have the amendment, we have to go back to the resolution, the whole resolution now with the amendment in it. Now, if you want the resolution to stand alone the way it was, then you have to vote against the amendment. Understood? All right.
question, Madam Chair.
Okay, I am going to go
want
back
me
to
to-
the parliamentarian. Yes,
Madam
Mayor
Chair.
Soglin. Okay,
We're almost there.
Don't do it.
no,
Don't
no, no.
do it. Don't do it.
No,
It's
we're
just
gonna-
going to make it worse.
Mayor Soglin, if I can just have the parliamentarian keep us on track in compliance with the rules of order.
Just prior to the assembly going out of control, a gentleman moved the previous question. Rather than get a second and a two-thirds vote, which is required, I asked your chair to see if there was anyone who wanted to speak. If there was no one who wanted to speak, she could simply move on without worrying about the motion for the previous question. The next thing she attempted to do was to take the vote on the amendment, but she made an unfortunate little misstatement when she said the vote is on the question. Since there was confusion, I have recommended that she first call you to order, and second, to now take the vote on the amendment.
Okay.
And that's what's pending.
Is it understand? Do we all understand? Okay, and I'm sorry for my little faux pas.
Take the vote on the amendment.
Okay.
They want it read.
We are now taking the vote on the amendment. Mayor Jin, you created a whole lot of trouble.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, a whole lot of trouble.
Call a question.
All in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Opposed? Nay.
We're on the main resolution.
Okay, thank you very much.
Now we have the resolution, right?
Okay, now we're voting on the resolution, okay? Okay, everybody, the resolution. All in favor of the resolution as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Okay, the ayes have it. Okay. Whew. Okay, the next one is 59. If the parliamentarian can please read 59.
Gotta find it. It's 59 is the resolution, right?
Yeah.
I was busy keeping track of this one. Where, does somebody have a page number? It should be on,
Does someone have the page number on 59? 179?
thank you very much.
179.
Okay, that's on the floor then. No, it's
No, it was, yeah, it's on the floor. It was pulled for a separate discussion and vote. Mayors, 59 is calling on Congress to redirect military spending to domestic priorities. This is the resolution. Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Can we do better with the mics here? I mean, stand-up mics.
Thank you.
I mean, this
Pete Lewis from Auburn, Washington. I am a child of Vietnam, and being there for 3.5 years, heard the news, read the papers of all the different discussions going on, but I also knew what was happening with the troops that were in Vietnam, with the sailors, the Air Force, and how they were treated and viewed what was happening at home. I live in a military state, one of the largest contingents of National Guard throughout the United States is in the state of Washington. I talk to our troops as they're coming home. I understand the vital need to redirect resources. As an ex-banker, as I've said, as a son of a veteran, my father always used to say, the only thing you can't recycle is a bomb, with good reason. But making political statements in this forum about the war, I do not believe is proper. I know that as the war ends, we must work hard to ensure that those resources come back to our cities. But let's not do and make the mistakes another generation did that minoritized a whole group of people from Vietnam who did not engage for 10, 20, 30 years because of how they saw themselves viewed in forums like this. We create no value here, but we can do harm there. So I urge that this resolution be defeated.
Mayor Soglin, and then I'll go to Mayor Dickert.
Can you get him a mic, please?
Where's
Madam Chairman, Chairwoman, this organization has a long and storied history in regards to supporting our troops in combat and our nation's defense. We also have a long history in regards to reminding this nation of the challenges it faces in regards to meeting domestic needs in light of war. We've adopted resolutions, very strong resolutions, recommending the withdrawal of American troops in other conflicts, including Vietnam. This is a rather temperate resolution. Unlike prior resolutions dealing with issues of combat and the demands of national resources, this one does not call for an immediate withdrawal, but it calls for speeding up the effort to end this war. No one needs to remind the mayors of this country of the critical times we face as both the Congress and our state legislatures look for the resources that were once distributed through federal revenue sharing and state revenue sharing programs. Now we're at a point where municipalities are faced with cuts in services that affect all of our citizens, especially those who are in need the most. If we're serious about talking about repairing infrastructure, making investment in infrastructure and in human capacity, we have to remind our congressional leaders and our president that we support the military efforts to protect Americans as well as those overseas, but at the same time, we support efforts to speed up the ending of these wars. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayors, here's the order of how I'm going to be recognizing the speakers. Mayor Dickett, Mayor Cornett, Mayor Hayes, Mayor County. Anyone else? And very good. Mayor Dickert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It is without doubt that I have the utmost respect for and admiration for Mayor Lewis. In his time served, I come from a family of Marines who fought. And just the other day, we met with the mayor of Kabul to talk about what is happening in his city. And while I'm here taking over for Mayor Sam Adams, I think it's important that as we look at this resolution, we remember what the American Society of Engineers said just last year, that this country's infrastructure is currently rated at a D+. As I believe Mayor Nutter discussed in one of our meetings earlier this year, they had to save a bridge in Philadelphia from collapsing, as we watched in Wisconsin a bridge in Minneapolis collapse. I think the resolution, in my humble opinion, does not talk so much about us having any negative thoughts, desires, or impacts on our troops, but more states that as we look to move out of the countries of Afghanistan and Iraq, that we look towards rebuilding our infrastructure for our children and our children's children. And I don't think anybody here in any way believes that we shouldn't have every benefit from our troops, not overseas only, but I would even suggest when they come home, where oftentimes I think they're forgotten most. So I believe that we should pass a resolution just to simply say that we think that we need to reevaluate where our funds are going and that they are rebuilding our country and our people, and hopefully every one of our troops comes home safe and sound to their families. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mayor Dickert. The chair now recognizes Mayor Cornett.
Madam President, it is times like this when I think we're all reminded what a nice collection of committees we have. There are committees on transportation and communications and education and welfare. And then there are ideas, concepts, and issues that ought to just be in the ideas we ought to stay out of the hell away from committee. This issue is unnecessarily divisive. It is not written in a bipartisan manner that was intended to get collective mayoral support. It is not specifically a municipal issue. When you read it, it brings up the number of those directly impacted and have given their lives to war, which seems to be unnecessarily divisive to the concept of reprioritizing spending. It also singles out Congress as a body that ought to be redirecting its funding as opposed to including the executive branch, which could have been an oversight, or perhaps just specifically remindful that Congress does appropriate spending. But I remember in 2007 when we had a similar matter on Iraq, I don't believe Congress was singled out individually at that point. And I say all this mainly as a reminder as we go forward that we need to be bringing forth resolutions that we as mayors can stand forth collectively and support so we get more attention. But would we unnecessarily be partisan or unnecessarily draw attention to divisive issues? It merely waters down the support and breaks down the consensus building that this body should be driven upon. And so with that, I urge those that are simply against this amendment to vote it down, those who are for it to vote it up. But in the future, let's try and be more inclusive in the manner in which we choose our battles and in which we write the battles that we bring forth to this body. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And Mayor, we do not have any amendments. This is on the resolution. Thank you. Mayor Hayes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Several years ago, when we had a resolution before this body that was in Los Angeles, I remember that I was a part of the debate, and I was on the losing side of that with only a few votes separating the conference. And without a doubt, there are times when, in respect certainly to Mayor Cornett, that consensus is difficult to achieve, and that's the reason that we're here and we're having a vote. And I was very opposed to making statements in Los Angeles that could be misinterpreted by our troops, because I think that's who our obviously primary concern is. The National Guard headquarters is in my city, and all too often I have an opportunity to say goodbye to those troops as they leave and go to Iraq, Afghanistan, and certainly put their lives at risk. Their families are at home, and so I am extremely sensitive to that. I also have had the joy of welcoming troops back home at the end of their tour, unfortunately perhaps not at the end of the conflict. And I looked at this resolution. Mayor Lionel Jordan of Arkansas, Fayetteville, is on there as a supporter, and I was a little bit concerned that we may be getting into something similar to what the divisive nature of the debate that took place in Los Angeles again when it comes to the war. And I read it, and looking at the resolve clauses that the mayor support efforts to speed up ending the war. It doesn't say how we want those efforts to be specified. It just says we want efforts to be made to ending the war. And I don't know that anybody can hardly debate that. And then you look at the Conference of Mayors calls on the Congress to bring these dollars home. And so I guess I would just encourage, and I could go ahead and read it, but I think it's almost time, after debate for a vote. But in reading it and looking at exactly the words of what the resolution says, it's just almost hard for me to see where we all don't agree on the basic nature of what's before us. And obviously that's a little bit of a Pollyannish view. But to me, I think this body has an opportunity to make statements on issues. And while consensus can't always be achieved, that's what the vote's for. So I would encourage us to support this resolution. I don't think it can be interpreted as anything other than telling our troops that their families are here and we want them to come home, and whatever we can do as a country to expedite us removing ourselves from that conflict in an honorable way, that we pursue that avenue, and that's simply what I think this resolution says. So I'm certainly speaking in favor of it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. Mayor County.
Am I the last speaker on this?
No. I go to Mayor Lowe, then Good Mayor from Waukegan, and then Mayor Cooper.
All right. Well, I was going to actually call a question, but if we have some more speakers.
Yeah, I think it's important that
Yep.
the body hears from all of the comments that are before us.
I have nothing to add at this time.
Okay.